it's 4 in the afternoon, you're at the kitchen counter, and your budgie is doing the thing you love, hanging off the cage bars, head cocked, watching every bite you take. So you break off a little corner of whatever's in your hand and hold it up to the bars, and he takes it, that tiny beak working away, thrilled. It feels like love. It feels like the two of you sharing something. Here's the part nobody told you. Some of the foods we hand over the bars out of pure affection are the exact foods that put small birds on my exam table. And a few of them can take a budgie in a single afternoon. This isn't your fault. Nobody hands you a list when you buy the bird. The pet store sells you a seed bag and a mirror and waves you out the door. But what if I told you that the deadliest thing in this whole video is probably sitting in your fruit bowl right now? And what if I told you the treat you feel best about, the one shaped like a little bird snack, is quietly doing the most damage of all? If you saw the thumbnail, you saw the promise, 5 treats ranked from bad to worst that a vet would never let pass the bars. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ellie Wren, your neighborhood avian vet. Birds are prey animals, so they hide it when something's wrong. My whole job here is teaching you to see what your bird can't show you. And one promise before we start, if something ever sounds like an emergency, I'll say so plainly, that's a call to an avian vet, not a video. Before we count them down, take a breath and drop the guilt at the door. If you've given your bird any of these, you did it because you were sharing. That's the opposite of neglect. The problem isn't your heart. The problem is that a bird's body is not a small dog's body. A budgie weighs about the same as 2 tablespoons of water. A dose a person wouldn't even feel can flood an animal that size. So a treat isn't good or bad on its own. It's good or bad for a body that small. That's the whole lesson today. We're counting down from number 5, the one that's mostly hype, to number 1, the one I genuinely lose birds to. Grab a notebook if you've got one, and if this helps, subscribe and tells YouTube to show it to the next owner about to pass something over the bars. Number 5 first, and I promise it's not the one you're braced for. Number 5 is the one every scary list online puts at the top, and I'm putting it at the bottom on purpose because the internet has this one badly out of proportion. Apple seeds, cherry, peach, plum, and apricot pits. You've read that they're loaded with cyanide, and technically that's true. They contain a compound called amygdalin, which turns into hydrogen cyanide. But here's the part the scary posts leave out. It only releases when the seed is crushed and chewed. A whole seed swallowed by accident passes straight through, sealed, and the dose is high. For a cockatiel-sized bird, we're talking roughly 40 to 60 crushed seeds eaten in one sitting to reach real danger. Your bird nabbing a single apple seed off your plate is honestly not the emergency the internet sells. So why is it on the list at all? Because the fruit itself is wonderful and the pit is the one part to lose. Slice the apple, scoop out the core, hand over the flesh. Never let a bird gnaw a cherry or peach pit, and not really for the cyanide. Here's the tripwire. A cracked pit is a perfect choking-sized object for a 2-tablespoon animal. So fruit, yes, the stone, no. That's number 5, and it's the one you can mostly stop losing sleep over. The next 3, I want you fully awake for. Number 4 steps up hard. Salt, that moment your bird lands on your shoulder while you're eating chips and helps himself to a crumb. Feels like nothing. To you, it is nothing, but listen to how an avian specialist, Dr. Lori Hess, puts it. A few chips or pretzels can carry, in her words, potentially toxic amounts of salt that can upset his electrolyte balance. Not a bag. A few. Now, salt itself isn't a pure poison. Sodium is a mineral birds actually need, and wild parrots go out of their way to find salt licks. The danger is the load. A processed human snack is engineered salty for a human-sized body, and a budgie's kidneys are working with a tiny fraction of that. Too much sodium at once pulls the system out of balance. Dehydration, kidney strain, the heart under pressure. Here's your branch. What if your bird begs for the salty stuff every single time? That's not a craving to feed. That's a bird whose diet is short on something, chasing the strongest flavor in the room. Hand him a millet spray instead and let him forage for it. Same thrill, none of the sodium. Number 4, keep the chip bowl on the far side of the counter. Number 3 is hiding in your fridge. Number 3 is one people fight me on. Cheese, a little cube, a string of mozzarella, and the bird loves it, which is exactly what makes it feel safe. Here's the biology. Birds don't make lactase, the enzyme that breaks down the sugar in milk. Mammals make it, birds never evolved to. So the lactose in that cheese moves through undigested, and in a small bird that can mean stomach upset, a blockage, in bad cases worse. And it's not theoretical. One avian clinic reports that the single most common cheese they surgically remove from birds is mozzarella. That stretchy, sticky one a bird can't break down and can't pass. Picture that, a bird on the surgery table for a bite of string cheese. I've had an owner swear their cockatiel ate cheese for years and was always fine. And fine, right up to the day it wasn't. Because these things stay quiet until they turn acute. Your branch, What if your bird already eats dairy and seems okay? Okay isn't proof of safe, it's proof of not yet. Swap it out. If you want to pass something soft over the bars, a little cooked egg gives protein a bird can actually use. Number 3, off the menu. Number 2 is the one you've been buying on purpose. Number 2 is the treat that hurts me the most to talk about because you bought it for your bird at the bird store in the bird aisle, the honey stick. The seed treat stick, it's shaped like a little bird snack. It's sold with a happy budgie printed on the label, and every avian vet I know files it under junk food. Here's the honest framing. This one won't drop your bird in an afternoon. It's a slow harm, and that's exactly why it slips past everyone. These sticks are packed with fat and sugar, and the vets who study bird treats say once a month, if at all. Fed the way most people feed them, one clipped in the cage all week, they drive obesity and they drive fatty liver disease. And underneath that sits a deeper problem. A bird living on seed and sticks is a bird running low on vitamin A. The Merck Veterinary Manual lists vitamin A deficiency as one of the most frequently diagnosed nutritional disorders in seed-fed pet birds. My friends, I need you to hear this. The mistake isn't the occasional stick. The mistake is the belief the pet store planted that seeds and sticks are bird food. It's the bird version of raising a child on candy. So here's your diagnostic. And do it today. Gently feel the middle of your bird's chest for the ridge of bone down the center. That's the keel. On a healthy bird, you feel the bone with muscle rising either side of it. If it's buried in softness or sharp as a knife edge, the diet is already talking to you. Number 2, the stick is a once-a-month party, never the pantry. Which brings us to number 1, the one I actually lose birds to. Number 1, if you take one thing from this whole video, take this. Avocado is, without exaggeration, the food I am most afraid of in a bird's home. And it hides in guacamole, in a sandwich, smeared on a chip, in the half somebody left on the counter. Avocado contains a compound called persin. In us, persin does nothing at all. In a bird, Dr. Krista Keller at the University of Illinois puts it plainly, it is toxic to the heart. And this is not a maybe. Back in 1989, there was a controlled feeding study published in the veterinary literature, and of 8 budgerigars given avocado, 6 were dead within 24 to 47 hours. Not sick. Dead. Inside 2 days, every part of it is toxic. The flesh, the skin, the pit, and the leaves worst of all. The signs Dr. Keller describes are collapse, lethargy, heavy labored breathing, and sudden death. And they can begin as fast as 15 to 30 minutes after a bite. As an avian vet, I am begging you, there is no safe nibble of avocado for a bird. Not a lick of guacamole, not a smear off your finger. This is the one where he only had a tiny bit is the exact story I hear right before I lose the patient. Number 1, and it is not close. Let me stop here for one moment and then I won't bring it up again. Everything we just did, the ranking, the doses, which treat is a slow harm in which one takes a bird in an afternoon, is just a few pages of how I actually think about a bird's kitchen. People kept asking me to put the whole picture somewhere they could hold at midnight when the birds got into something and I'm not standing there. So I finally wrote it down. It's called the Bird Bond and Health Bible. The safe list and the never list, the emergency signs, the keelbone check, the trust rituals, all of it written the way I'd hand it to you across the exam table. If you want it, it's linked in the description right below this video. That's the only time you'll hear about it today, because what's left matters more than anything I could ever sell you. What to actually do the moment you realize your bird ate something it shouldn't have. So let's say the worst has happened. You turn around and the avocado's been touched, or the chocolate or a pile of the salty stuff has gone from the plate. Here is the honest feeling of everything I've told you today. None of it is a home remedy. There is no kitchen trick, no flush, nothing you can feed to fix a bird that has swallowed a true toxin. A small bird that's been poisoned or has stopped eating can crash in a matter of hours. Birds hide it until they can't, and by then the clock is already short. So this is the line where the video ends and the phone call starts. If your bird ate avocado or chocolate, if it's sitting fluffed on the floor of the cage, if the breathing has gone heavy, that is not something you watch overnight. Close this video and call an avian vet or the nearest emergency exotics clinic right now. That is a car ride, not a comment section. And knowing where that line is, that's part of loving this animal too. Now let's put it back together as one simple rule you can carry out of here. Count it down with me. Number 5, fruit yes, the pit no. Number 4, the salty snacks stay on your side of the counter. Number 3, no cheese, the mozzarella especially. Number 2, the honey stick is a once a month party, not the daily pantry. And number 1, above everything else, avocado never in any form. That's the whole never list in a single breath. You don't have to fix all 5 tonight. Pick one, just one. Maybe it's walking over to the cage right now and pulling that seed stick out for the week. Here's the thing I really want you to hear. The fact that you sat through a whole video learning what not to feed a creature that can't tell you when it hurts, that means your bird landed in the right home. Birds notice who moves slowly and shows up. Yours noticed you. 2 quick things, and I'll let you go. Tell me in the comments, budgie or cockatiel? And be honest with me, which of these 5 was your bird already getting before today? I read every one, and somebody who scrolls past your comment is going to catch it in time because you were brave enough to admit it. That's the whole point. A like and a subscribe tells YouTube to push this in front of the next owner whose bird is hanging off the bars right now, waiting for a bite of whatever's in their hand. So tonight, go back to that kitchen counter, break off something safe, a corner of apple with the seeds scooped out, a sprig of millet, hold it up to the bars, and let that little beak get to work. Same love, nothing in it that can hurt. Move slowly, trust your instincts, and I'll see you in the very next video.